everybody. Happy Sunday. Just knocked my camera crooked. So I'll have to readjust. Oh well. I hope you guys have all had a great weekend. It was actually a beautiful weekend here in Tucson. Well, at least where I live locally, we didn't break 100 all weekend, and we were able to go for walks. That was very exciting. It's been a while since it's been below the triple digits, so but we still need some rain. We're hoping that we do get some rain this week. Anyways, I don't have any major things today, but today we are going to draw for our week 33 design. We'll see what we're going to make this week. Always exciting to see what that's going to be. And then we are going to make a project with using the cards to figure out what we're going to make with this month's bargain bead box, which those of you that follow me know that I love all things turquoise and teal, and this month's box is very much turquoisey colors, so bright blue turquoisey color. So very excited about that, although it is gold finished, and you know I'm not a gold girl, but it's not the super bright yellow gold. It's a nice muted gold, so we'll see how that goes, and who knows what we're gonna make. The cards are gonna tell us later on. Just a reminder, you can get your kits. All paid orders have been mailed, and if you're interested, again, we have the prickly pear, the Saguaro and the prickly pear. These are $16 each. You get the crystals, you get the written instructions with those, and then we have the third one, which is our barrel cactus, which you also get written instructions and crystals, but this one's only $10. Okay, if you buy all three, you get $5 off. If you buy two, you get $2 off, and those are ready to ship. We will be scheduling a make-along. I hope to do one of the first make-along, probably the last Sunday of this month. I will do it, and then we will schedule the others for after mid-September, because I am going to be gone the first couple weeks of September. I also have the newest thing on our in our shop is bag of Violet Dream crystals. Now these are all ones that I had to custom order the plating on, so they're all the bigger sizes. So these range from 10 millimeters to 24 millimeters. The smallest crystals that are in the kit are not in here, but you also get more crystals in here than you get in the kit. And this bead mix is $12. So if you just get the bead mix, I don't know, if you get the bead mix with the kits, with a kit, you know, and it becomes your third item, I will honor the bundle price. But this, I am offering you at a really good price. So it's like a $18 value, and I'm selling it for $12. So there you go. So I'm not going to do extreme discounts on this particular mix. So just so you know. But they're gorgeous if you like purples and teals and all the colors in this guy. That's what you're going to get. So, all right. And those are available on the website. I'm going to work on getting that coupon straightened out today. Trying to get the bundle discount on there, and I will do that. Anyways, you can always combine any of those with any of our other bead mixes or kits or cards and get the bundle deal with that way as well. So, and don't forget, we still have our Southwest bundle, which is the Desert Southwest cards and the Western metal mix, as well as my Desert Blossom mix. So, desert cactus. I always forget whether I call it cactus blossom or desert. I think they're cactus blossom bead mix, which was a custom mix I had put together by Beadoria. And we've had a lot of fun. We made these this flowery bracelet, which I call my Desert Blooms bracelet. Used all the colors, and not all the colors in that one, all but one, and some of our metal mix to make that bracelet. That was quite a few weeks ago. But enough for that business. Let's get to drawing some cards and making a project. So let me flip you over. See if I can get this straight, get us zoomed in so we can see what we're doing. All right. Okay, first thing we're going to do is draw for this week's project. So, if you're new to us, welcome, and please let me know you're out there. Love to know who's watching, even on the replays. So, every week, what I do is I draw from our Bead Stash Challenge decks. So, Bead Stash Challenge is a series of card decks which can really help you you know, get out of a rut, help you get unstuck if you're staring at a pile of beads and don't know where to start. It also just helps you try new things, because if you're like me, I used to make like all my earrings were the same thing. It was just different colors. Okay. Now I learned to try different things, and it's also great because it makes me look through my stash and use more items from my stash. Now this pile at the moment is kind of low. I have all 5 of our decks mixed in, but 32 of them are set aside because I don't reuse them until I have gone through all of them. So just for an idea, if you have all 5 of our decks, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think there's 41 total make cards across the 5 decks. Might be 42 if I miscounted. But so let's see what we're going to make today. We are going to make a link or a connector. Now, you know, when I draw a card like this, I could, in theory, draw another make card to see what I want to use it in. Or we'll just wait and see what the cards, what the rest of the cards do. And maybe it'll be obvious what we want to use that with. Okay, so we just recently shuffled our used cards. So the used cards tell us what things out of our stash we're going to use in these projects, okay? And there's a lot of them, but like I said, we just reshuffled. So these are the things that I'm going to go look through my stash to see what I need to use with my, either in my link and connector or with my link and connector. And we'll see that in a minute. Now, the great thing about this is when I go looking for stuff, I find stuff that sometimes I forgot I had. And then it inspires me to make other projects without the cards. So it helps me know what's in my stash, which also helps when you're, you know, if you're ordering things, you know what you already have, right? And maybe some of you are really good at keeping track of those things, but after a while you kind of forget. Okay, so I usually draw 3 used cards. I think it's a nice balance of a challenge and gets me to try different things. But you can draw 1 if you just want. You can draw 5 if you want. It's all up to you. So we're going to use mixed metal colors in our design. We are going to use a snap or ball and socket clasp in our design. And we are going to use a single to multi-strand connector in our design. So, you know, we might even make our link a single to multi-strand connector, right? Because we can make that. So let's keep that in mind. All right. Oh, hey, Marianica. Thanks for joining. We're drawing for this week's cards. So, all right, the third kind of cards, if you're new to us, these are our challenge cards. And again, 32 of these are already set aside. Actually, more than that, because sometimes I've drawn more than one challenge card. I usually only draw one challenge card, but every once in a while, I feel inspired to draw more than one. So the challenge cards are just that. It's to add, it may add a theme to your design, it may add a design challenge to it, or just something a little fun like having a friend pick out your beads. Okay, so let's see what the challenge cards have. So we are to design something with a tribal or Southwest theme. Well, you know, I love that. It's all about the desert in the Southwest this year between our collection of cards and bead mixes, and we're making our cactus kits. So just a reminder, like I said, we have 5 decks. We have our deck 1, which you really should buy the deck 1, even if you don't buy anything else. Then we have an expansion deck, which is color, which the color is just use in challenge cards. Those add colors and get you out of using the same color all the time over and over, which I would do. And it's fine, except people get tired of it, right? We also have our non-jewelry and findings deck, which this make card is one of the ones from there, as well as these are our clasp card and our connector card are also from that deck. Then we have a sun and sea deck, which is all things beachy, vacation-y, think summer vacation, all that stuff. And we have our desert Southwest deck, which is just that. It's things that make you think about the desert, make you think about the Southwest. So think Arizona, New Mexico, parts of Texas, parts of California, and all that area. So it's based on things that are either in our geography, the plant life, the animal life around here, as well as just some of the heritage in some of those states. So that's what that deck is all about. And you can use any combination. You don't have to have all of them. I mean, I do, because I use them and make them every week. But you know, if you just want to add color to your projects, just buy the color deck to go along with your deck 1. Or if you're one of those people that has collected a lot of metal findings and stuff, the findings deck is a great one for helping you use some of that stuff. And if you ever draw cards, you know, if you're newer, you don't have a huge stash, you draw a card and you don't have it, just set it aside, draw another one, or it gives you something to put on your, you know, your shopping list next time you go out to the bead store or looking online to buy something. If you guys ever have any questions about the cards, the kits, whatever, just contact me and I will be happy to answer any questions. You can message Desert Cat Creations and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Now, I also have a website, and it is in our description on our Facebook page, as well as our Instagram page and our YouTube page. It's desert-cat-creations.square.site. You can order off the website, or you can order directly from me by messaging Desert Cat Creations with what you want. If you order directly from me, I will send you an invoice, so I need an email address. But that's either of those is an easy way to order our products. So All right, so this is just the base deck. We are going to draw cards to see what we want to use, make with our monthly bargain bead box. Now, if you're using cards with a monthly bead mix or something, I recommend just using deck 1 because some come with findings, some don't come with findings, some come with different colors, some come with all one color, and they tend to already have a theme, so you don't necessarily need a challenge card when you're working with those, but the generic challenge cards can work. So let's see what we're gonna make. We're gonna make a tassel. Okay. And what are we going to use in our tassel? I don't know if I made a tassel recently, but in a little while. All right, let's see what we can use. Now, I kind of looked through so I know what's in there, so let's see if let's see, use a focal bead. I'm not sure. I'll think about that. I mean, there are some larger, there's some larger beads in here. I can make that a focal bead, I guess. Oh, yeah, actually. All right, we can work with that. Use seed beads in our design. So if I'm just sticking with that, there aren't any seed beads, so I am going to stick that card back. Use glass beads. There definitely are glass beads in there. And use flexible beading wire. All right, so I'm going to pull out my soft flex beading wire. And then let's see if there's a challenge that'll work with this kit. It's a boho themed kit. But you can always make design something inspired by the outfit I'm wearing today. Oh, well, yeah, actually, I think I can make that work. My outfit is not very inspirational. I have an orange t-shirt on, which you saw, and a pair of tan shorts, so perhaps we will use the, there does happen to be some carnelian and some quartz in there that I guess we will throw into our design, since that's the closest thing to what we're using today. All right, so I definitely, let's see, I don't think I need some of the charms. We have some little turquoise dyed highlight, or synthetic turquoise, sorry. We have some dyed quartz or agate. Okay. This is the related quartz, so that actually matches the pants that I have. And then there's some carnelian, which is the closest we get to sort of the orange. And I think maybe we'll use some of these small crystals, since we have to use glass beads, right? There's some other blue crystals in here. There's some blue magnesite. Then we just have some charms, some beads. We have bead caps. I think I'm going to use this in my design. We also have these crescent moon, glass crescent moons. Think about that. Got some chain. Don't think I'm gonna use that. Got some links. I'll think about that. I don't need a clasp. And then we do have these large blue beads. Now, let's see. I'm going to grab my other soft flex, because since we're having to use the orange kind of orange and plain series, I think we'll stick with that. All right. So, okay, we want to make a tassel. So, you know, I can make little tassels. To use with my, like to use in earrings, or I can make a big tassel to use for a necklace. So let's get some of these things out and take a look here. See what we're gonna make. Sometimes you have to kind of go with the flow on things. Like, are these would a moon link count as a focal, or do I have to use something? These have little moons and stars on them. All right, so let's see. We've got our carnelian. Our little crystals. I guess since I have to use soft flex, I'm not going to worry about trying to use chain. I do like to make chain tassels, but soft beading wire on our tassels is just fine too. I'm just getting everything out here, so. Then I have some spacer beads if I need those, and we've got these sort of half moon. If see, I hadn't given any thought to a tassel, so we're having to do this live. know if that's too busy. What, actually? I think we can use the soft flex and the chain just to make our lives a little easier. All right, let me grab some gold wire. All right, so what I'm thinking is, and maybe I can zoom in a little more. All right, so I'm thinking if I do the moon bead on top, then I'm counting this is my focal bead. And then I can choose to either use this little moon thing, just kind of nice. And then is this going to get kind of long if I put more on there? So this is definitely going to go on a necklace. So now I'm thinking I can do little strips of chain. And we'll put beads on the end too. So I'm going to do short strips of chain. All right, come on. That's one. I don't know that I trust that I didn't cut pieces down here, but we'll see. All right. I'm going to make them slightly different lengths. All right. And one more. You know, always be careful with chain. You don't want to necessarily use your good cutters. These are cheap cutters from the hardware store. Although I use them a lot because I think they're pretty good. All right, so I think the first thing I'm gonna do is I need to put this guy in this. There's a little hole in here, so we're gonna do a loop with that. we're going to make our own head pin real quick. Where's my using where you're going to make 2 rounds here, and I'm going to pull that up, and we're going to push it through, and then it's handy to have a pair of pliers you can use to, and you want these rubber ones, and then you want to pull really tight so you get this knotted head pin. And unlike what I just did, you should straighten it out. All right. Before you try to stick your bead on it. All right, and now we're just going to make a small loop. And I'm going to Oh, hey, Janelda. Have a safe trip. Hope your show went well. We are just trying to make something with our bargain bead box. All right. Now I've got that through the loop. Now in order to be able to tighten this, I need to hold it off to one side so that I can wrap this without the rest of the piece being in the way. So we'll see. All right, I got a couple wraps there, so let me cut off the end there, and we will tuck that in. All right, we may have to do some more tucking later, but all right. So we've got our dangle in there, and then I'm going to use my soft flex because I have to use flexible beading wire. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to put the moon on there. I don't know that it makes any difference whether which direction he goes. So we've got that, and we're going to dangle that from there. So, ooh, let me see. Since we're using gold today, I do have some gold couple gold crimps here. Yeah, I need to get some more out, but all right, so now I'm going to put the crimp bead on here first, and then I am going to string the wire through the ends of each of these pieces of chain. And I'm going to make a small loop. And like I said, since we're doing gold and I have silver wire here, I want to make it fairly small. So I've got my my crimp there, and I made a little loop that I have the ends of all the chain on. Okay. All right, so now it's time to use our magic crimper and make our little crimp here. So center it in the divot, squeeze, turn it 90 degrees, and you still want it centered, squeeze, and then just gently keep it centered and turn it around. All right. Until you get a nice round bead here, and apparently it is moving on me, so it's not getting the edges. There you go. All right, so we've got that, and now we can slide these beads back down. You know, I probably don't really need much of a tail because well, just because it's not going to attach to much. And now we are going to attach that onto this moon. So I'm going to cut off a length of wire so I have something to work with here. I'm going to put my crimp on. Then we're going to put it through this loop on the bottom of the moon. And I am going to try to stick it back through this bead, but since I already have 2 pieces of wire through there, it does not want to go. So I have 2 options here. One, I think I'll cut this bottom wire. I'd have the bead, and then I should be able to push this wire through there now. And it is long enough that it's coming out the bottom, yay. All right. Oops. All right, that was not supposed to happen that way. We got the tip of our moon stuck in there. There we go. All right, let's try that again now. Didn't think about paying attention to that. See, we're learning all sorts of things today. All right. I'm going to pull on this wire, and then I'm using my other hand to push that crimp down towards the bead, and then I'm pulling. And again, I don't want a whole a big loop, but I want it big enough to have a little movement. And I'm actually going to pull it a little tighter because I am going to go ahead and trim this so that I can get those guys close to each other. So what I have now is I have this little moon here, then I have my crimp there, my small ring, and I need to go ahead and do my crimp. So squeeze. All right, so now it looks like we have our little bead up there. And at some point I need to tighten that up. Maybe I'll use my different pliers here. Sorry, I'm trying to just tuck that wire in there better. All right. So we've got our silver pendant with our little tassel, and then I wanted to put some beads on the bottom. So some of our quartz beads on there. So let me, what we're gonna do is make little we're gonna make some small we're going to make those decorative head pins. Is that too big? Let's see. Nope. Where you make the circle, you go just past the circle. And then I'm going to use my pliers so I can turn the wire so it goes up through the middle, and then I will leave however much wire I need to make a loop, which hopefully that was enough. And once you have that loop, so if you slide your bead on, slide it down and into this loop. This is one of our decorative head pins. And just slide that circle around there. All right, then we are going to hook this onto, let's see, I don't need those. too many pairs of pliers around here. All right, so I'm going to make a small loop here. You know, if you have one of those little, you could do a simple loop. I just prefer to do wrap loops because I know they're not going to come off if something, you know, accidentally grabs onto something here. So I'm just sticking that loop onto the bottom of one piece of chain, and then we're going to use our pliers to pull this tight, just because it's too hard to do with my fingers, because my fingers are big. Get that down towards the end. We are going to carefully tuck that in. And there's an angle on one piece, so we're going to do that 2 more times. All right, and I'm using, if you have one of these 6 size loopers, that. We'll see if that. Then, you know, I would say you need at least an inch, at least 3/4 to an inch to make your loop, your wrap loop. I am using 22 gauge wire here. And see, that one didn't slide down because I didn't get quite as good a corner there. Now, you know, since this is a tassel, you could certainly put a lot more than 3 pieces of wire on there if you wanted to. This was enough for me. I really did not do a very good job with that. That loop. Good thing with wire is you can kind of mess around with it until you get it to lay where you want it to be. I may have to trim that one when we get down there. All right, so let's put our second one on there. And you do not need a large loop because this chain is tiny, so you want kind of something that is as small as you can make it. My loops are a little bigger, but it's okay. And again, I'm going to use my pliers to wrap this. Once you feel like it's far enough, you can trim your end, and then just tuck that in. And you can use, you know, whatever pliers, chain nose or flat nose. I don't know why, but I find the tucking for me goes better when I use my flat nose. All right, let's see if we can do better on the loop this time. All right, so when you're using this looper, you want your end of the wire to be just poking out between these. And then you want to keep it as tight as you can so that your loop is a good shape. You want to go just past where it comes together. And then I'm going to grab where I have two pieces there, and I am going to bend the wire so it goes up through the middle. All right, then we slide our bead on. Bad thing about these quartz beads is it's hard to see the hole. Oh, yeah, I need stronger glasses. All right, and then I am just carefully tucking that loop around the bead so it sticks out like that. All right, and now I'm going to make a wrap loop right at the top of that. So we do our 90 degrees, do our small loop with the round nose pliers, and then once you have it sticking out the other side, then we find our last piece of chain here. You just slide it on the end like that. And now I'm going to just grab with my pliers and twist. You know, if you had some gold head pins, you could just use those. I just didn't think about getting mine out ahead of time, so we had to make our own. But, you know, it's just another way to get the bead on there. I mean, sure, I know I have some thick gold head pins. I don't know if I have thin ones. I'll have to check on that. All right. So now I'm going to have to put some sort of a bail on this, which means I'll have to dig through things because I'm not going to make it live for us today, but there we go. We've got our tassel. Yeah, I'll have to see if I have a gold, if I have a gold bail or if I have to create one. All right, so here's our tassel. Here's our focal bead. Let's see, glass beads. Both of these beads are glass. The flexible beading wire was used to attach to the link and to the chain, so all through there. And designed by the outfit we're wearing, inspired us to use the carnelian and the related quartz. So that's what we've got. So let's pull all our tools out of the way, because they're just messing up my workspace here. All right. And I will just lay that out, and hopefully you can get a better look at it. And like I said, I think I'll, I can just use, a gold, jump ring as my bail, or I can use, like a pinch bail or something simple like that. But there we go. We have a fancy tassel. Righty, yay. So, thanks for joining me today. Let me flip this around. Hopefully I wasn't off camera too much. I try, but when I zoom in, I get off camera for some reason. Because it's like the cameras at one end. I don't know. Anyways, I'm working to do better. All right, if you like this video or any of our other videos and you want to go back and watch them, I do transfer them over to YouTube for longer keeping. They're only on Facebook for 30 days. So any of the older videos, you need, to check out our YouTube page, which is just Desert Cat Creations, okay? If you haven't already, please like us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to us on our channel on YouTube. If you could help me out and subscribe to the channel on YouTube, that would be wonderful, because I'd like to be able to broadcast simultaneously on those two channels, but I don't currently have enough subscribers on YouTube. And like I said, that's where the videos are going to reside for the long term, because they are no longer be kept on Facebook, okay? Yeah, appreciate all that. Again, if you haven't ordered your kits yet and you're interested, please either text me at Desert Cat Creations or check it out on our website, which is, again, desert-cat-creations.square.site. If you want to order directly from me, just message me or respond to one of our posts. You can also contact me in our group, our Bead Stash Challengers group. There's a link on there if you're watching us live. If you have any troubles finding the Bead Stash Challengers group, again, you can message me, and I will get back to you and send you a link to that. If you're watching on the replay, please let me know you're out there. I always love to know who's watching. And I will be back on Thursday at noon to make our link or connector. We're going to use mixed metal colors in our design. We are going to use a snap or ball and socket clasp. We're going to use a single to multi-strand connector, which may be the connector that we make. And it's going to have a tribal or Southwest theme. So I have no idea what we're going to come up with, but I look forward to sharing that with you on Thursday. Again, Thursday at noon is when we do our design reveal. If you are new to us, if you join our Bead Stash Challengers group and you make some posts of what you're making or play along with us in the card games, you can use my cards and make something and post it, or you can purchase cards and use your own cards. I'm fine either way, but every post gets you into our random drawing. We do give away once a month a prize, which depends on what I feel like giving out that month, but it's always a decent surprise. And if you're a first-time winner, you will also get our special Desert Cat Creations card holder for your desk, and I will be sending that your way. But you have to post to join, or post to get in the drawing. But that's all you got to do, right? And it is a random drawing. Those who win one month can't win the next month. And we'd love to see you share your work, because it inspires me. I learn stuff from people all the time. and hopefully you'd get inspired by the other projects that are out there. So anyways, I look forward to sharing that with you. And if you buy one of our kits and make the kit, you can post your results there too. I'd love to see the finished kits as well out there, because it just makes me happy to know that you guys were able to follow my directions and assemble your kit. And I will keep you guys informed as I get these make-alongs for the kits scheduled. So each of these kits probably takes, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes. It depends. Like this one, there's a lot of prep work. Once the prep work's done, very speedy, right? This one's kind of the same as that one. There's a little bit of prep work to do, but then once you start putting it together, it's very straightforward. This one requires the most as far as wrapping, okay? So if you're not comfortable with wrapping, it may take you a little longer. And this one also, you have to work to make sure everything balances so it doesn't topple over, because you really don't want your swirl laying down. Although that said, you could put a loop at the top and hang him up if you really run into problems. Make him a sun catcher. But anyways, if you're assembling all three kits, I recommend having 24 gauge for this guy. You don't have to have your own. You don't have to have wire if you have some 3-inch or longer head pins that are 24 gauge. You can use those pre-made head pins, and then this guy's going to go together super quickly. This one I recommend using 22 gauge, and the cactus I recommend using 20 gauge, and possibly even 18. I use 20, but and I apologize that it's 3 different gauges this time. You can use the thicker gauges, like for the barrel cactus. You could use 22 gauge. It just won't end up with looking like mine. You'll have less stuff on top of your cactus, but that's a design decision. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to let you guys go, and I will keep you informed as things change. Thanks again for joining me today, and I will be posting my, I'll post a final picture in our group of what I made after I find a bale. So I got to go looking through my bales and see what I have. And then maybe you'll see me put it on a chain. All right, I will see you on Thursday. Have a great week, and I hope you all have time to be creative.